Israeli heritage. And then what happens?
As far as Jewish heritage in the Middle East, that's valid. You can talk about individually Arab Jews and whatnot, but that's not what you're talking about. You're playing fast and loose, making this dangerous.
Yeah, who's playing fast and loose? This guy's actually, his brain is broken, man. This is your brain on fucking Ottoman colonizer fucking apologia. This is what's going on here. Oh no. What am I looking for here? Hasan had disliked the content nuke before watch. Fucking brilliant, man. So good.
For a very long time, as a matter of fact. Jews have lived in the Middle East for a very long time, as a matter of fact, under the rulership of the Ottoman Empire and even far before then, okay? But as far as like Israeli heritage in the Middle East, that's like saying, you know, what about the Boer heritage in South Africa? What about Rhodesia's heritage? Why does nobody care about the Rhodesian heritage in Africa? Shut the fuck up. Israeli heritage in the Middle East is death, destruction, genocide, and apartheid. It is the Nakba, okay? That's all the Israeli heritage is in general, and specifically in the fucking Middle East.
Yeah, he's a Jew hater. I don't know what to say. I told you, we're at peak Hasan now. Yeah, like if you believe this, if you want to just lie about all of Jewish history, right? That's it. You want to lie. You want to think that the reason that the Jews from Europe, even the ones that ended up in Israel, were there for the same reason that Boers ended up in South Africa. You're full of shit. What are you talking about? Who started the war in 47? Who accepted the partition plan? Who rejected it? Even that. Who put Jerusalem under siege? Who started firing the first shots in the fighting in Haifa? And not to mention the fact that the majority of Israeli Jews are not even from Europe. Like, so that's... Is he just talking about a minority of them? Holy shit. Bro really wants the fucking Demi status back. Yeah, this is mostly boring. iDubbbz watching the nuke with him. Only reason he's not having Bad Empanada on stream is because he's banned. Oh no. Oh dear.
Like, oh, Jews have nowhere to go. This exceptionalist argument, like, oh, Jews have no...
Is he saying Jewish exceptionalism now? Is he actually pulling that card out?
This exceptionalist argument, like, oh, Jews have nowhere to go. You want the Jews to leave Israel?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God,
weird.
so scary. So scary. I'm talking about Israel, man. I'm talking about Israel and Israelis, okay?
Go back to New Jersey.
It's
Hasan.
like...
Thanks for the $10.
It's literally, like, I think he just keeps saying it because he thinks like American normies are conditioned to be like, oh, but not the Jews. Like, this is going to be just like the Holocaust. What the fuck? Yes, that is the whole purpose of BDS as well, which is a peaceful mode of resistance, civil disobedience, a demand to boycott Israel.
A demand to destroy Israel and force the Israeli Jews to live as a minority in the Middle East, even though every other Arab Muslim state in the last 100 years has treated their Jewish minorities like absolute trash. Yeah. Just take your chances, you know? Palestine will be the first one that'll be like fucking chill.
A part of that is because Israel is cast aside as a social pariah in the global stage. This is the most effective, most meaningful mode of peaceful resistance against the Israeli apartheid, against the Israeli genocide. What are we supposed to do? Nothing? We just have to sit around and be like, constantly condemning Hamas and condemning the Houthis. That's the only way to fucking stop Israel from doing a genocide, I guess, in Ethan's mind. Yes, the point I'm making there is that before it gets to a point where people are fleeing Israel because their living conditions, their living standards have worsened, Israel makes the decision not to continue its genocide. It's that simple.
Of Israelis.
No, it's not. You don't think countries are. You think Israel's a fake country? Why do you keep saying, "Oh, we should just stop the genocide"? You what? You think if Israel ceased fire and pulled out of Gaza, you'd be done? Like you just move on? What the fuck are you talking about? He's such a liar. Like what the fuck?
There and do not have citizenship anywhere else. So where do you want them to go, Hasan? Back to Poland or back to the Arab countries they were forced out of?
What?
That's a good question.
Where do you live, dumbass? You live in fucking Bel Air. Shut up. Yeah, back to Poland. Yeah, that's what I was implying. That
No, he wasn't. He was saying back to Iraq. What? I'm sorry. Why is back to Poland not acceptable, but back to Iraq is? Okay.
they should go to Auschwitz and fucking die in a death camp. Like, what kind of insane... If I felt that way, I would say it, okay? It's not like... Anti-Semitism has exploded on the planet. It's not like people are shy about that kind of perspective that they hold. Jesus Christ.
So they should all go to America. Is that what you're saying? You should just like force 6 million, 7 million Israeli Jews to go to America?
Hasan attempts to deny Jewish heritage in the Middle East. It characterizes them not as indigenous, but as white colonizers. This is
The Israeli heritage in the Middle East is now tarnished by... Well, first of all, Israeli heritage in the Middle East. What the fuck is Israeli heritage in the Middle East? That doesn't exist. Shut the fuck up.
What? What was it called? If we're talking heritage, what was it? What was that land? Once upon a time. He said heritage. He said Jewish heritage. He's pausing a lot. Boy's a fucking Jew hater, man. What the fuck?
% of Israelis were born there and do not have citizenship anywhere else. So where do you want them to go, Hasan? Back to Poland or back to the Arab countries they were forced out of?
What?
What?
Where do you live, dumbass?
What?
You live in fucking Bel Air. Shut up. Yeah, back to Poland. Yeah, that's what I was implying, that they should go to Auschwitz and fucking die in a death camp. Like, what kind of insane... If I felt that way, I would say it, okay? It's not like... Anti-Semitism has exploded on the planet. It's not like people are shy about that kind of perspective that they hold. Jesus Christ.
Hasan attempts to deny Jewish heritage in the Middle East. It characterizes them not as indigenous, but as white colonizers. This is
The Israeli heritage in the Middle East is now tarnished by... Well, first of all, Israeli heritage in the Middle East. What the fuck is Israeli heritage in the...
This is like me saying Muslim heritage in the Middle East is tarnished because of the Ottoman genocides, right? Like because of the Armenian... Like, what would you ever say that? Yeah, what? Muslim heritage in the Middle East? That's done now. Fuck. They fucked it by doing a genocide. A far worse one than anything you've ever accused Israel of doing, by the way. More than one, by the way. Fuck me. He said Jewish heritage, not Israeli. What the fuck does that mean? Tarnished. German heritage in Europe is just tarnished, you know. They... God.
In the Middle East, that doesn't exist. Shut the fuck up. You're talking about a 76-year process, okay? You can't really call that heritage in the Middle East, okay? But as far as Jewish heritage in the Middle East, that's valid. You can talk about individual...
But wait, what did he say?
If I felt that way, I would say it. Their living standards have worsened. Yeah, back...
or back to the Arab countries they were forced out of.
Simple. Auschwitz and fucking die in a... Anti-Semitism...
Attempts to deny Jewish heritage in the Middle East. It characterizes...
He said Jewish heritage. And then Hasan argues, oh, Israeli heritage. And then what
As far
happens?
as Jewish heritage in the Middle East, that's valid. You can talk about individually Arab Jews and whatnot, but that's not what you're talking about. You're playing fast and loose,
fuck.
making this dangerous...
Yeah, who's playing fast and loose? This guy's actually, his brain is broken, man. This is your brain on fucking Ottoman colonizer fucking apologia. This is what's going on here. Oh, no. This is why. No wonder he needs people holding his hand through these reacts. He's actually fucking ruined. The state of this guy, man. He said Jewish heritage, and then you argued Israeli heritage. Then you went back and said, "Oh no, yeah, but Jewish heritage, that's valid." If you're talking about individual Arab Jews, bro, Mizrahi Jews are the majority of Israeli Jews. What the fuck are you?
Fucking conflation between Judaism and Zionism once again,
yeah,
over
yeah,
and
yeah.
over and over and over again. Okay. Hasan is denying Israeli heritage in the Middle East. The Israeli heritage in the Middle East, you know what that is? Death and destruction, genocide
Holy
and apartheid.
fuck.
That's the only thing that Israeli heritage is in the Middle East. If you're talking about Jewish heritage in the Middle East, that's a little different, of course. Jews have lived in the Middle East for a very long time, as a matter of fact, under the rulership of the Ottoman Empire and even far before then. Okay? But as far as like Israel,
Yeah, and where are all the Middle Eastern Jews now? They're pretty much all in Israel, barring like what, the Algerians who went to France. The rest of them, they're all in Israel, bro. They're all voting for Netanyahu. They're the ones who vote for the coalition. Like, fuck off.
Israeli heritage in the Middle East, that's like saying, you know, what about the Boer heritage in South Africa? What about Rhodesia's heritage? Why does nobody care about the Rhodesian heritage in Africa? Shut the fuck up. Israeli heritage in the Middle East is death, destruction, genocide, and apartheid. It is the Nakba, okay? That's all the Israeli heritage is in general, and specifically in the fucking Middle East.
Despite the fact that 60% of Jews in Israel are actually native to the Middle East.
This is wild. So these guys did all. Are they native to Israel? Are they native to Israel, Ethan? Are 60% of the Jews living in Israel native to Israel? Are they native to Israel, Ethan? They're not native to Israel. Shut the fuck up. Oh my God, what is this? And then
He said they were native to the Middle East. They are. Are refugees just not like a valid concept now? Okay.
he tries to fight the audacity of this fucking asshole to claim that he is not to claim that he's not doing fucking Zionist propaganda this entire time. Holy fucking shit. Are you native to the Middle East, Ethan? Is that where you're native to? You're an Israeli citizen. Like, what is this? What is this fucking argument? Like, you think anyone, like, the argument is additionally fucked up because Palestinians are native to the Middle East, specifically to the land that is occupied by Israel, dominated by an exterminationist, Jewish supremacist, exterminationist principle, okay? Exterminationist ideology is fascist. Okay.
You know where the word, someone in chat asked it, where does the word Jew come from? Where does the word Jew come from? Anyone know? Chat, quiz. It's from what was called the Kingdom of Judah, which is like here. But okay.
Okay. Palestinians can't even go to their own native land. And this motherfucker has the audacity to be like, well, you know, that's where Jews are native to. It's just it just belongs to them. Why are you even questioning this? It belongs to them. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Like, you're a Libyan Jew. Palestine belongs to you. Sorry. You're a Jewish person from Morocco. Palestine belongs to you. Sorry. They're native.
The thing is, whose fault is that? Whose fault is it that the Libyan Jews didn't want to stay in Libya? Whose fault is it that Iraqi Jews didn't want to stay in Iraq? According to you, it's all Zionism. What, did Zionism cause the Farhud? Did Zionism cause the pogrom in Libya in the 1930s? Like, come on.
Native there. Don't ever question this. Don't ever actually mention the history of this. It's not that long ago, by the way. Like, this isn't that long ago. There are people that are still very much alive while all of this was unfolding. Your React is a real content noob because holy shit, you destroyed him. I'd be surprised.
Yeah, well. That was bizarre. That was pretty bizarre.
October 2023 is October 2023, Israeli police showed multiple journalists a video of a woman whom Le Parisien called Esther and BBC called Witness S, describing what she claims to have seen from her hiding place near the festival. A militant bent someone over, then Esther understood that he was raping the victim. The militant passed her on to someone else. She
we're on to discrediting the witness statements now. Hey, let's go.
was still alive and bleeding from the back. The men cut off parts of her body, sliced her breast, threw it on the street, and played with it. Another militant raped her, then while still penetrating her, shot her in the head, and then ejaculated. 2 months later, in December 2023, the New York Times reported accounts with very similar themes from a witness identified as Sapir. This is not something that took place, okay? I need you to understand, this is not real, okay?
I don't believe the Patton report actually spoke about this particular incident with the slicing off of their breast. I don't think they mentioned that in the Patton report. But okay.
Here.
Fucking Zay Squirrel, bro.
Also, the person that
Hang on,
conducted
where
the
is it?
fucking UN report admitted that it was a mischaracterization that genital mutilation took place.
The UN report didn't say that. In general or in this particular incident? Okay, we need to start sourcing. Wow, let's go. Yeah, so throughout the report, what they do is they say that some of the claims of genital mutilation are inconclusive, mostly because some of them are like gunshots and things like that that might have just hit someone in that area, but it would look like genital mutilation, even though it wasn't like targeted genital mutilation. But they still say credible circumstantial information, which may be indicative of some forms, including genital mutilation, was also gathered. But that's in the first line of the conclusion. They also say one of the reasons that they couldn't get full evidence of that was because 100 bodies were burned beyond recognition. But where was Zay Squirrel? Never forget Zay Squirrel, Hasan's source, by the way, literally in the most obvious way possible, mangling a UN source. See that little artifact there? And this little strange chop, mangling a UN report to make it look like there was no evidence of rape, even though it says they couldn't find evidence that militants received orders to commit rape, even though I think it's here. .95 here. And this is the bit that she chopped out. The commission identified patterns indicative of sexual violence in several locations and concludes that Israeli women were disproportionately subjected to these crimes. The attack on October 7th enabled perpetrators to commit SGBV, and this violence was not isolated but perpetrated in similar ways in several locations and by multiple Palestinian perpetrators. Zay Squirrel literally chopped out this part to make it look like there was no proof of any rape, let alone mass rape. Also saying, or that it was ordered by Hamas. No proof. This is his source, by the way, this overt, lying, terrorist, glazing, propagandist fuck, like internet keyboard warrior psycho. That's Hasan's source right now for debunking witness statements. That's probably one of the most obvious lies someone could ever like carry out on the internet. What an obvious piece of dishonesty. Look at this. It's not even like she's tried to hide it with a little blotch there and this gap missing because she didn't want people to see that they actually did find not isolated, but perpetrated in similar ways in similar locations. What a lunatic. This is Hasan's source, by the way, the guy who talks about how academically informed he is. Wow.
It was a mischaracterization that genital mutilation took place. Fuck. The reason why this is important, by the way, stop
Why is it
debating rape
important?
and focus on the genocide of the Lord. No, shut the fuck up. You want to know why?
No, I will. I will promote a completely fucking batshit internet liar to discredit witness statements. No, I will not back down. Fucking tool.
Fuck. The reason why this is important, by the way, stop debating rape and focus on the genocide of the Lord. No, shut the fuck up. You want to know why this is important to cover? Because this is a colonialist tactic, okay? All of the barbaric rapist savage.
This is a colonialist tactic. He's so stupid, man. How can you be so fucking dumb? Oh. It's important that we know that fuck all rapes happened. Meanwhile, I'm going to believe any singular, isolated, delayed, whatever witness statement from anything that's ever happened to Palestinians. Again, he still parrots the fucking young boy thrown in the oven story from Deir Yassin, even though that is literally based on one witness statement that only emerged 50 years after the fact. Like, more than 50 years after the fact. And no historian that Hasan fucking glazes even bothers to touch it. Oh well. Look up what he said about the Houthi salute. That can't be fucked. A waste of time. What am I doing? Look at my own Reddit. See what they're saying.
The scar.
No.
You said Ethan's
Oh my
words
god,
can
my
make him seem
Reddit's just
pro-Zionist.
fucking okay, wow, thank you guys. Still supports the Houthis when a chatter says maybe careful not to support terrorism.
You said Ethan's words can make him seem pro-Zionist and that he should be more thoughtful, but when he pointed out that your language could come off as supportive of terrorism, why not just admit that you're careless sometimes too to his fans? It made you look like you can't admit fault. I have no problem with the Houthis. Yeah, because I don't. What do you mean? If you think I'm a terrorism supporter for that reason, then yeah, I'm a fucking terrorism supporter. What are you talking about? The Houthis and their militancy in the Red Sea is a perfectly moral action. What would you do if there was a genocide happening in your fucking backyard?
Why is he still saying backyard? No, this is old. I've already seen this. Your backyard. Their backyard that's 1,000 miles away. Meanwhile, the people who are actually in their backyard, the people who are still hungry, by the way, the fact that there are still Yemenis who are hungry are just getting completely fucked, who are still getting persecuted by the Houthis, the minorities in Houthi control, like the Baha'is and the whatever, like 10 Jews that are left in the place, the Christians who still have to suffer under Houthi rule. They all, fuck them, you know, fuck all the hungry people in Yemen and fuck all the people who are still getting like forcibly conscripted as children, or the Ethiopian migrants who are getting forcibly conscripted and then promised they would get some money that they're never going to get. So basically being taken in as slaves. Forget the fucking Yemeni women who are accused of like trumped up fucking immodesty charges and then taken into prison and then passed around Yemeni security officials and forced to do sex acts on them. Another form of slavery, actually, sexual slavery. Fuck all that. Let's not deal with any of that. Let's go and fire some pot shots. And hopefully, inshallah, we'll land at a field in fucking Israel. Bruh.
That's it. And Ethan had no...
It's so Orientalist, bro. He doesn't think Arabs are real people unless it's like, unless their purpose is to fight Israel. I guess because the Houthis, you know, taking care of their own people and trying to find some kind of resolution to the conflict over there, and making the situation in their own territory so that the UN doesn't have to fucking panic and shit themselves about bringing aid in there. If they could do any of that, you know, that would be fucking boring. You know, no one cares about that. If they could actually try and solve some of the problems that they've got going on in their own territory, treat their minorities well, stop sex trafficking women amongst your security officials' houses, stop doing any of that. But that would be dull. No, it's just much more fun to go in a helicopter and like kidnap some sailors. It's like Arabs only exist in the world to do little fucking to tickle Israel. That's Hasan's worldview. Arabs only exist so long as they can just serve the purpose to fucking bother Israel a little bit with shitty missiles.
Answer for that. I also said, yes, some people think I'm a terrorist supporter, and that's on them and not me.
Based. Be ruled by British. Brits leave and country gets partitioned. Lots of people die and displaced in war. Decades later, conflict is ongoing with more wars, terror attacks, and territorial disputes. Be India and Pakistan, pick unrelated. Hey.
Why did you laugh when that guy said that people were calling them inbred on campus? Why?
No, not my own shit. All right. Israel and US are discussing a temporary US-led post-war administration in Gaza. Yeah, I saw this. This will come up later. This is on the list. It's still in talks, but, you know, it's the only post-war scenario that Netanyahu is even bothering to humor, which is kind of insane. I beg of you to make a main channel video on the Gazan protests against Hamas. Oh, Jubilee with this guy, Al-Khatib. People accusing him of being a collaborator. Based. I wonder how people are going to cope with the new poll that would suggest that like just under half of people in Gaza are now collaborators, because just under half of them support the anti-Hamas protests. It's mental. Blunt rotation. Oh, okay, whatever. I feel bad for Dean Withers. He got fame in the space and immediately got hounded by some of the most manipulative people online, on the online left, let it be Hasan or the panel that talked to Z. A lot of it is his fault for giving these people air and validation, but I imagine he does it since he's nice and a very young guy and feeling overwhelmed. He should have gone with the normies like Media's Touch or something. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Non-tribal take, how we justify evil. Okay. That's a long video. We'll get to that another time. No, I don't want fucking Destiny videos on my subreddit, please. Oh, someone already did the opinion polls. We'll just read through them, a bunch of them. Thank you, Lonerbox, for helping me study for my college history finals. We had to talk about the establishment of Israel's impact on the Arab world, on the rest of the Arab world. My textbook only had so much information. It was easier to piece together events because of Loner's videos. Wow. What the fuck? Dr. House watcher by any chance? Circumstantial evidence versus direct evidence. From what I gathered, circumstantial evidence is anything that needs to be interpreted, while direct evidence clearly asserts the facts of the matter. A good example I came across was that someone entering a house and stating it's raining outside would be direct evidence, while seeing someone coming in drenched with an umbrella would be circumstantial evidence. From this example, it's easy to deduce that even direct evidence isn't waterproof. I didn't know this. I didn't know that a witness statement was direct evidence rather than circumstantial. I didn't know that. Direct evidence could be a statement by an eyewitness that directly saw an actual incident taking place. Footage that shows the actual incident taking place, or a contract that clearly states what was agreed upon. Circumstantial evidence would be a statement by an eyewitness that didn't directly see the event. So if a witness says they spoke to someone else who saw something, that's not direct. Changes in behavior, suspect of a robbery, suddenly spending significant amounts of money, or someone trying to flee the police. Yeah, it is like primary versus secondary. People always like there's always this fucking stupid Nazis do this a lot. Like or people who just don't know any better, like they act like primary sources are like superior to secondary sources. That's not necessarily true. Like a primary source can be fucking dog shit. A primary source can be like a Nazi officer just going to someone and saying, "Yeah, everything's fine here." You know, everything's fucking a primary source can be the Red Cross talking about the camps and how they're actually chill, you know, nothing bad's happening really.